Welcome back to the Crypto World channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and today is the day that Bitcoin is going to see the golden cross. Historically speaking, this is meant to be a bullish sign for Bitcoin, and in anticipation of that golden cross, a lot of people are starting to buy Bitcoin, which is now breaking the price out of this falling wedge pattern. So in just a moment, I'll be updating you guys on my next Bitcoin price targets that I am paying attention to. I'll also let you guys know about my personal Bitcoin strategy right now. And on top of all of that, there's also something very interesting forming in the Bitcoin order books on exchanges right now. And also we have currently plunged into a new level of fear that we have not seen in around 1.5 months. All of that and more in this video. So make sure you're watching all the way to the end so that you're not missing out on any of this valuable information. And just before we jump into it, make sure to drop a like on the video down below. And if you're new to the channel, you might as well subscribe and have notifications turned on so that you're not missing out on any of these future videos. But anyway, with all of that out of the way, let's get straight to what this video is about. So right here, we're on the Bitcoin US dollar chart on the 1-day time frame. And as you can see here, we are pretty much just about seeing the golden cross right now. It's very likely to occur probably when this daily candle actually closes, which is in roughly around 10 hours from now. So historically speaking, this golden cross is meant to be bullish for the Bitcoin price. But obviously these golden crosses are lagging indicators because they go off these moving averages, which actually are derived from previous price action, not the current price action, and obviously not future price action. So the golden crosses don't actually tell us exactly what's going to happen next. But generally speaking, the golden crosses do happen when we are in an uptrend on the bigger picture on the daily time frame, for example. But yeah, once again, just keep in mind that this is a lagging indicator, so it's still not impossible for us to see some more bearish price action. And these are actually the Bitcoin long positions over on the Bitfinex exchange on the daily time frame. And I've actually been discussing this over the last 1 to 2 days here on the channel because the long positions have been increasing to the upside in anticipation of this bullish cross most likely. And so far, since this low just here, the long positions have increased by around 3,200 Bitcoin approximately, which at the current price of Bitcoin is roughly around $150 million worth of long positions that have been opened over the last 5 to 6 days or so. And once again, that is only on this one exchange. So all of that extra buying pressure is helping the Bitcoin price actually hold a lot of this major support just here at around 44,000 is actually where I've been looking at over the last week pretty much. And also this major bullish divergence in the Bitcoin RSI and in the MACD on the 4-hour time frame. This is also helping the Bitcoin price actually hold this sideways trend and now actually starting to push slightly to the upside. And once again, all of this is not new information for the subscribers out there. I've been saying this for pretty much the last 3 to 4 days. And in fact, around a week ago, just after the crash, I let you guys know that it's very likely that in the shorter term, we're going to see a lot of sideways price action. But just keep in mind as well that on the daily time frame, if you're looking at the daily RSI and the daily MACD, they are still trending to the downside. So that is definitely still something to not forget about, because while the RSI and the MACD are trending to the downside on the daily time frame, that is still technically speaking a bearish sign on the bigger picture here. So if these price oscillators do continue further to the downside, I would expect at the very least more sideways consolidation for at least another week or so, if not potentially some more bearish price action in play on the daily time frame. Now, once again, this is not in the immediate short term, talking about the next few hours. This is really looking at the time frame of around 1 to 2 weeks or so, and perhaps even longer than that. But obviously, that is only while these oscillators are in this downtrend here. If these price oscillators, so the RSI and the MACD is once again what I'm talking about here, if they can start actually bottoming out and actually form some bullish divergence or even start heading back to the upside here, then obviously that will be a sign that the price will begin to gain some strength again. And something very interesting right now is actually happening in the Wooklich ratio. This indicator actually helped us predict this bearish price action that happened over the last 1 week approximately before the bearish price action even started, because once again, this indicator was preparing us for some bearish price action pretty soon. And then the moment that the red line just here actually crosses this yellow line, that is when the bearish price action is confirmed on the daily time frame. And all we have to do is zoom out and look at some previous times where this has happened. And as you can see here, back in January 2021 was the most recent time that was at the length that is most similar to the length that we've seen recently, because obviously the following 3 times they were more shorter length signals. And what's very interesting about that correction at the very beginning of this year, obviously we were very bullish heading into that correction. And once again, the fact that we saw this Wooklich indicator cross to the downside here, that actually helped predict this correction that we saw during January this year. But what's very interesting in this indicator right here is the fact that we broke to the downside and then the Wooklich ratio actually came back to the upside to this orange line right here. And then we actually got a retest of that line and a successful rejection from that line. And then we corrected further to the downside in both the indicator and the price for pretty much around 1 to 2 weeks after that. Well, pretty much one more week worth of bearish price action, and then around 2 weeks before we started recovering back to the upside. So if you're looking at this indicator right now, we're currently retesting this orange line. So if the price starts turning back around to the downside within the next 1 to 2 days or so, then once again, what we simply saw last time that this happened was around one more week of bearish price action, and then another week of pretty much sideways consolidation before the recovery kicked in. Now, obviously, just because that happened before, it doesn't mean the exact same thing's going to happen again, but it's still something to consider, because obviously if this indicator breaks back to the upside, then that is actually more of a bullish sign. And now getting into the actual breakout that we're seeing right now in the Bitcoin price out of this falling wedge pattern that I have been discussing over the last 2 days or so. Now, the only thing that I'm not liking too much about this breakout is the fact that we haven't really seen any major retest of this previous line of resistance, and also we haven't really seen a surge or spike in the volume. Now, the volume, I must admit, it's not too bad. We have been at lower levels of volume, and obviously the fact that we've seen one 4-hourly candle close above this line of resistance, that is a good sign. But if we can see now this next 4-hourly candle close around here, that would be even better and provide even more confirmation of this breakout. And the technical price target is coming in at these resistance lines just here at the top of the wedge, which right now is at around 47.3, 47.4k, in around that sort of area just there. So we're already getting pretty close to the target. This wasn't a major pattern, but it's definitely a good sign that we are seeing some more bullish price action here, because obviously if we broke below that $44,000 level, that was when I was saying we need to consider some much lower price targets. I'm looking towards around 38, 39,000. So the fact that we did end up holding that $44,000 support as some very strong support, that is great once again. And as of my long-term Bitcoin strategy right now, it hasn't really changed. I'm simply just dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin, especially while the price is at these lower levels just here. Obviously the price can go lower, but I am still bullish on Bitcoin in the much longer term, talking about many months and years from now. And while we're on the topic of thinking about the long term, I already shared this over on my Twitter, but I thought I might as well share it here in this video. Basically, over the last 1 year, the Bitcoin price is still up over 300% in profits. Ethereum is still up around 800% in profits, and Cardano is still up around 2,400% in profits in just the last 1 year. And I said here, basically, you should be blocking out the noise and thinking long term. That is the best strategy for the complete beginners out there. Obviously, we can trade these short-term fluctuations in the price to actually accumulate even more Bitcoin. But realistically speaking, trading should only be left for those of you that have a little bit more experience in these markets. For the complete beginners out there, simply dollar cost averaging with a long-term perspective is seriously the best strategy, because all we have to do is look at the actual numbers, and the numbers don't lie. Now, just quickly updating you guys on the Bitcoin order books across all of these exchanges. As you can see, we've actually got a buy wall set up right here at roughly around 45.7k US dollars per Bitcoin. So in around 45,700, which by the way is very interesting, because that was this previous line of resistance that I was just talking about for this breakout. And so there's a lot of people hoping that we could come down for a retest, get a bounce here around this level and bounce to the upside, because this level right here is literally 45.7k, and that's where there is a lot of buy orders. So that's definitely a major level of support for the Bitcoin price that I am paying attention to in the short term. Obviously, if there's enough selling pressure coming in, we can drop below that level, but this will act as some short-term support for the time being. And looking at the sell orders, there's not really any major sell wall in particular. The sell orders do spike up a little bit at around 47,500 US dollars, which is actually right here. Once again, that was the technical price target, well, just above the technical price target that I was letting you guys know about for this pattern over the last 1 to 2 days here on the channel. And interesting enough, now we've got a decent amount of sell orders right at that price target. And now checking out the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index, this is definitely an important indicator that I pay attention to from time to time. Obviously, this indicator doesn't tell us exactly how big pumps or dumps will be, or exactly how long we will be bullish or bearish, but it gives us a very good idea of the market sentiment and whether we should be due for some bullish price action or due for some bearish price action. The subscribers would already know about this, because I have covered this indicator quite a lot on the channel. And in fact, I use that indicator to actually predict this bearish price action that we've seen over the last 1 week approximately. Because as you can see here, last week we were seeing extreme greed. And if you're watching me on the channel back then, I was letting you guys know that this should be sending alarm bells. Anytime we see extreme, that is usually when the price is about to reverse back to the downside if it's in extreme greed, for example. But right now, the fact that we have dropped further into the fear zone, this is great to see. This is honestly really refreshing after seeing over a month of greed. And the further that this plunges into fear, the more bullish that I become. And if we actually see some extreme fear, that is when I'll be accumulating the most Bitcoin. And for the longer term subscribers out there, if you were on the channel during around June and July in particular, and also the second half of May as well, during this entire time period just here, basically when Bitcoin was in between 30 and 40,000 US dollars, the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index during that time was showing a lot of fear. And on a lot of days during that time frame, we were in extreme fear. And I was letting you guys know almost every day here on the channel during that time period just there that I was accumulating a lot of Bitcoin at around 30,000 US dollars in anticipation of a major bullish movement due to the fact that we were sitting in extreme fear. So right now, the fact that we are sitting in this fear, this is good to see once again. But it does still have a little bit more room to the downside. I want to make that clear as well. We can still see some more bearish price action, but right now I am dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin, as I said earlier, because usually dollar cost averaging into something that is sitting in fear, those have been some of the best buying opportunities to get into Bitcoin. But anyway, that's just about everything I have to say for this video. I hope you enjoyed and I hope you got something valuable out of this video. And if you did, be sure to leave a like down below. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe with notifications turned on for more videos just like this one. And as always, I really do appreciate all of your support on the channel at the moment. I can't thank you guys enough. But anyway, that's really everything I have to say for this video. Once again, I really hope you enjoyed and I'll see you all in the next video.